Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Yeah, the old clock says it's 5 o'clock. Beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today I do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer comes out of the cellaring fridge downstairs. This is Stone Brewing Spice Oddity. And guys, this is a fairly old beer. This was sent to me by my good friend Parrish. I haven't heard from this guy in quite a few years now. Hope he's doing well. So Parrish, if you're still watching, finally got around to doing your beer here. This is an ale aged in red wine barrels, coming in at 11.3%. This is a 2013 series from these guys. Not a huge bottle, but it looks like a 500 milliliter, I think. Yeah, 500 milliliter, corked and caged. And then, from what I've read on this, that they aged it in the barrels for 12 months, a full year. So, probably one of the last beers that I've got from Parrish that I still have. And this being a huge Belgian strong dark ale, coming in at, like I said, 11.3%. Hopefully, it has cellared very, very well. I don't buy many of these corked and caged bottles anymore, but this one was in the cellaring fridge downstairs. It has been refrigerated ever since I've had it. Parrish, thanks again, my friend, my brother. I do appreciate it. Like I said, hope you're doing well. Haven't heard from you in a while. Hope you are doing well. So, with that being said, guys, let's jump over to Untapped. We don't have the IBUs. And this is their Space Oddity Stone 12-12-12. So, that tells me it was basically probably brewed in 2012, but they bottled it in 2013. A vertical epic ale aged in red wine barrels. And I have some of other vertical beers downstairs that we will probably get to before too long. We are getting those beers out of the closet and out of the cellaring fridge, especially those bigger beers, because most of the stuff that's been sent to me recently has been pale ales, IPAs and double IPAs, which I need to do fresh, and that's what I have done. So, as those beers dwindle down and we have to do something big like this to get those out of the fridge and the closets. So, with that being said, that is all we need to talk about. We got the ABV, we got the vintage, let's see what happens when I take this cork cage out of the bottle. Hopefully it won't spew all over the place. That's my biggest fear on these bottles. They have a cork and cage in it. Sometimes I can get the cork out with my hands. Sometimes I got to get the pliers. And this one looks like it may need the pliers. I hope it doesn't. I cannot get it to move. Oh man. Guys, bear with me, I have to get the pliers. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. We ain't got the trusty pliers. Another reason why I don't like corked and caged bottles. You shouldn't have to have a pair of pliers to open up a beer. That's the way I feel about it, guys. But it has been in the bottle for a long time, so having beer in it probably has a stickiness to it, probably, and that's another reason why they couldn't get it out. So here's the cork. It did not spew all over the place, which is a good thing. Into the glass we go, and being a big 11.3%, unless it starts producing a monster head. We're going to pour it right straight down the center here, guys, and see what we got. Seems to be fairly well carbonated, even after all this time. So, about a finger and a half of head, maybe a little more. Very nice looking beer. Stone produces some really tasty beers, guys. I used to be a super big fan of their beers, and don't buy so many of them anymore. I don't know why that is. Mostly because they're not available in the local Kroger stores down the street here where my wife works. And you have to go across town to the craft beer store, and that's a 30-minute drive, and I usually don't do that unless I have to, because there is a little gas station slash craft beer store down the street that carries beers that Kroger's doesn't have. So I buy most of my stuff at those two places, unless I'm looking for something I haven't had before. So over to the light, guys, and not very much for a Belgian strong dark ale. It is very dark. So, and the head seems to be sticking around too. It's not dissipating very quickly. So let's get it to the nose. And definitely get the influence from the wine barrels, guys. I'm getting a big heavy grape, the venomous smell to it. Maybe a little bit of roasted malt in there. But the grape notes or the wine barrel notes are definitely present on the aroma here. Now it's cold right out of the fridge. And some other aromas, the head on the top is very thick and creamy. Off-white, khaki colored almost head there. Very nice looking beer. And that head seems to be sticking around. Don't seem to be going anywhere. But the wine or the grape-esque aroma seems to be overpowering anything else that I might be able to smell. But like I said, it's cold right out of the fridge. We're going to let it warm up. Smells pretty good, so let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Parish. Nice and tasty. Seems like it has cellared very well. The wine notes from the barrel aging is definitely front seat, second seat. Big time wine grape notes on it. Definitely getting that influence from 12 months in that barrel. Little bit of the Belgian yeast qualities, but that long in a wine barrel is definitely overpowering everything else. Slight hint of some roasted malt in there. Maybe be some black molasses. Maybe even be some dark fruit in there too once it warms up. Very pleasant. The alcohol seems to be very well hidden. The aging may have an effect on that. Very tasty beer. I mean, I'm not saying it's a world class or 10 plus beer right now, but seems to have cellared well. Alcohol is well hidden, but big time wine barrel notes on this beer. So let me see if I can get the rest of this in there. It may not fit in there since it's a 500 milliliter. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, we got it all in there. And looking at the bottom of the bottle, guys, it is pitch black down in there. So I'd say it's got a very nice heavy yeast cake, but I can't see anything. It is pitch black in the bottom, and it's a very dark bottle. So I don't know. We'll take a second gander at it and see what kind of sediment I have in the glass when I get to the final chug. But we're going to sip on it, and we'll come back and see where it ends up. Seems to be a decent, well-made beer right now. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Got just a little left here. Been sipping on it about an hour. Tasty beer, but not world-class or outstanding. Don't even think it's quite to the A category, to be honest about it, which is disappointing to me. I do think it's cellared very well. But the wine barrel notes, grape notes are overpowering everything else. I don't think they should have left it in the barrel that long. It's even overpowering the Belgian yeast. So, and I don't know if cellaring it as long as I did has an effect on that. I do think the alcohol is very well hidden. But decent beer, well-made beer, but a little disappointed in what I've got and what I'm drinking for what it is. Maybe I should have drank it sooner rather than later. I just think that the grape notes are just overpowering everything else. Now, if you're a big wine drinker, you may enjoy this a little more than I did. Like I said, I was going to look at the bottle. I can't see anything. It's still pitch black in there, and I have little dark notes from the back end pour on the glass when I went outside. Decent beer. That's where I'm going to leave it. Final chug. There is some sediment left in the glass. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's got a pretty heavy sediment cake on the bottom of it here, guys. Last final chug there, kind of bitter. Decent beer, but definitely not to the A category as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to give it a B plus. 88 for me, guys, on this one. Probably not something that I would have purchased for myself or would repurchase. And like I said, I do have some other vertical beers downstairs, and probably ought to get them out now that I've had this one, and get them reviewed and get them out of there. So I'm not going to do a vertical on these big 11%ers, guys. I just don't need that calorie intake and don't need that much alcohol on two beers. So we will get to them fairly quick, probably. I will be getting those out of the fridge and bring them up from the celery fridge downstairs and get them reviewed, because I do have several different versions of those beers, and since I've had this one, I'm kind of scared to sell them that much longer. So 88 for me, B plus. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 3.73, which is not even to their B plus. Kicking the door down on it, but that's the top end of their B category, guys. And over to Untappd, they have it at 3.94, and that is in their B plus. So I agree more with Untappd on this one. B plus beer. It is a well-made beer. Alcohol's well hidden now that it's selling as long as it has. But the grape notes and the wine barrel notes are a little overpowering. And it's just my opinion, guys. If you're a wine drinker or a wine fan, you may like this better than I did. I don't drink a lot of wine anymore. I haven't brewed wine in probably 6 or 7 years. It's not something that I care to drink a lot, but it's a nice change. So, with that being said, it is what it is. So, if you had the space, I keep saying spice, Oddity. And on the bottle it says 2013, but it is a 2012 vintage when it was brewed, and they didn't put it in a bottle until 2013. Let me know what you think. Until we meet again, that's because it was in the fridge.